Just take a moment to imagine your own life. What if you invested just 1% in improving yourself every single day? Where would you be 1 year from now? What if you could make your mind a little sharper, your body a little stronger, and your mind a little calmer and more focused? We often talk about investing. People invest in the stock market. They buy land and real estate and invest their money in gold. But there's one question that rarely gets asked. What is the safest investment and the one that gives the greatest return? The answer is investing in yourself, because the stock market can crash at any time. A business can suffer losses. Even the value of property can go down. But the time, effort, and energy you invest in becoming a better version of yourself will always stay with you. Today, we're going to talk about a book called Invest in Yourself. This book doesn't teach complicated theories. Instead, it shows you in simple and practical ways how small daily actions can completely transform your life. The book teaches that your time, your energy, and your habits are your greatest assets. And once you learn how to use them the right way, nothing will be able to stop your growth. Just think about it. What if you spent a little time studying every morning, took better care of your body, learned new skills, and kept improving the way you think? Little by little, a new version of you would begin to emerge. A person who is more confident, more focused, and more committed to achieving their goals. The biggest message of this book is that success is not the result of one big decision made in a single day. Instead, success comes from the small, right decisions you make every day. Every good habit, every new lesson, and every small improvement helps shape your future. Today, we're going to dive deep into this book. We'll discover how improving your mindset, your health, your knowledge, and your daily habits can help you become the strongest version of yourself. This is not just a book summary. It's a message that reminds you that your greatest strength, your most valuable asset, and the best investment of your life is you. So get ready for a journey that won't introduce you to the outside world, but will help you discover your true self. Welcome to Book Breakdown. I'm Ali, and I'm glad you're here. Chapter 1. You are your greatest asset. Take a moment and ask yourself one simple question. If you lost your job today, if your bank account dropped to zero, if every external label and identity were taken away from you, what would you have left? Would you still see yourself as just as valuable? It may sound like a simple question, but it carries a much deeper meaning. Because the truth is, most of us tie our identity to things that exist outside of us. Our jobs, our income, our social status, our relationships, or other people's opinions. But in the middle of chasing all these things, we forget the one thing that matters most, and that is ourselves. We spend our entire lives chasing one achievement after another. But we rarely stop to think about the person who's trying to achieve it all. Just think about it. What if you owned a luxurious home, drove an expensive car, and had millions of dollars in your bank account, but every night, when you went to bed, you had no peace of mind? Could you really call that success? Probably not. Because true success isn't built on external achievements. It's built on inner strength. The moment a person learns to understand themselves, believe in themselves, and starts investing in their own growth, that's when their life truly begins to change. But sadly, we're rarely taught these things growing up. We're taught to get good grades, find a good job, and make a lot of money. But no one teaches us how to increase our own value, how to truly love ourselves, or how to make ourselves a priority in our own lives. Now let me tell you a short story. There was a young man. He always tried to make everyone else happy. Whenever a friend needed help, he was the first one to step in. Whenever his family had expectations, he gave everything he had to meet them. If someone needed him, he would put his own work aside and be there for them. He believed that if everyone else was happy, then he would be happy too. But little by little, something strange began to happen. His own happiness started to fade. His energy began to run out. His motivation slowly disappeared. And the worst part was, he started losing faith in himself. One day, he felt completely exhausted. He sat down alone, and for the first time in his life, he asked himself one question. I've spent my entire life doing so much for everyone else. But what am I doing for myself? That one question completely changed the direction of his life. He didn't buy an expensive course. He didn't chase after motivational gurus. He simply made one small decision. He would set aside a little time for himself every day. He started with just 10 minutes. Every morning, after waking up, he would sit quietly for a while. He listened carefully to his own thoughts. He tried to understand the feelings deep inside his heart. Little by little, he realized that the greatest responsibility in his life wasn't anyone else's. It was his own. Then he took another small step. He started reading for 15 minutes every day. He began writing down small daily goals. He started taking better care of his body. A little walking, a little exercise, and healthier meals became part of his routine. And most importantly, he started listening to his inner voice. A few months later, a major change began to appear in his life. The outside world was still the same, but he had changed. His thinking became much clearer. His confidence grew tremendously. And when a person learns to truly understand themselves, the world begins to see them differently too. The truth is, we often underestimate our own potential. We put our trust in our paycheck. We rely on our boss's approval. We depend on other people's validation. But we forget to believe in ourselves. Yet the reality is, you are a world of limitless potential. Inside, you are ideas that can completely transform your life. You have abilities hidden within you that haven't fully awakened yet. And that's exactly why investing in yourself is considered the greatest investment in the world. Just think about it. If you spent only 30 minutes on yourself every day, 10 minutes for your mind, 10 minutes for your body, and 10 minutes for your soul, where would you be 1 year from now? After 365 days, how much would your confidence grow? How much would your mindset improve? How much stronger and more energized would you become? This isn't imagination, it's reality, but most people never give it the attention it deserves. We save money in the bank so it can grow over time. But when you build discipline every day, gain knowledge, and increase your self-awareness, the rewards stay with you for the rest of your life. Many people say, I don't have the time. But the truth is, it's not that we don't have enough time. The real problem is that we don't set the right priorities. We can spend hours scrolling on our phones. We can spend hours watching other people's lives. But finding just 20 minutes for ourselves somehow feels difficult. And that's one of our biggest mistakes. Because the day you make yourself the top priority in your own life, that's the day your growth truly begins. Every time you neglect yourself, you lose a part of who you are. But every time you take one small step for yourself, you move one step closer to a better future. Remember, the greatest asset in your life is not your bank balance. It's not your house. It's not even your business. Your greatest asset is you. And when you become a better version of yourself, every area of your life gradually begins to improve. Because in the end, one truth always remains. When you change, the world around you begins to change as well. So make a decision today. Choose to value yourself. Choose to invest in yourself. And choose to take one small step every day toward becoming a better version of yourself. Because the greatest return in life comes from investing in yourself. Chapter 2. Time is your real currency. Just think about it. What if millions of dollars suddenly appeared in your bank account today, but you didn't have the time to enjoy any of it? Would you truly consider yourself rich? Probably not. Because the greatest truth about life is this: almost everything in this world can be recovered. But time can never be recovered. If you lose money, you can earn it again. If a business fails, you can always start over. If a relationship ends, you can build a new one. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. And that's why time is the most valuable currency in the world. The most interesting part is, when it comes to time, the richest person in the world and the poorest person in the world are exactly the same. They both get only 24 hours each day, not 1 minute more and not 1 second less. The only difference is this: one person simply spends their time, while the other invests it. And that's exactly where the direction of a person's life begins to change. Most of us grow up hearing the same message: make a lot of money, build a successful career, become successful. And little by little, we begin to believe that money is the greatest asset in life. But the truth is completely different. Money is actually the result of time. Time is the real asset. Because money can work for you, but time never will. Time waits for no one. It keeps moving forward whether you use it wisely or not. Just think about it. What if someone gave you $86,400 every single morning and said, you have to spend it all before the end of the day. Whatever is left will disappear when the day is over. Would you waste that money for no reason? Of course not. You would keep track of every single dollar. But here's the surprising part. Every day we're all given exactly 86,400 seconds. And yet, how many of those seconds do we waste without even thinking about it? Sometimes by endlessly scrolling through social media. Sometimes by getting caught up in meaningless conversations. Sometimes by overthinking, and sometimes simply by putting things off, as if time will never run out. But time does run out, and by the time most people realize it, it's already too late. Let me tell you a short story. There was a young woman. She had big dreams. She wanted to build a successful career. She wanted to stay fit. She wanted to learn new skills. And she wanted to accomplish something meaningful in life. But she had one bad habit. She kept putting everything off until tomorrow. She would tell herself, I'll start studying tomorrow. I'll start going to the gym tomorrow. I'll start meditating tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll finally change my life. But that tomorrow never came. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And months turned into years. One day, she looked back and realized that 5 years had already passed. Her dreams were still the same. Her desires hadn't changed either. But life had moved far ahead. There was only one question in her mind. I wish I had understood the value of time sooner. That's the kind of regret millions of people experience at some point in their lives, because we keep thinking that we still have plenty of time. But the truth is, time quietly moves forward without us. And all we keep saying is, there's still plenty of time. The reality is, the sooner a person realizes that time is their greatest strength, the more extraordinary their results in life can be. But there's another important point here. Using your time wisely doesn't mean staying busy all day. Being busy and being productive are not the same thing. Many people stay busy from morning to night. But by the end of the day, they have no real progress to show for it. Meanwhile, some people use a small amount of time to do things that completely change their lives. Why? Because they don't just spend their time. They invest it. Imagine this. If you spent just 30 minutes every day learning a new skill, after 1 year, you'll have invested nearly 180 hours in learning. Just think about it. How far could 180 hours take you in a single skill? If you spent just 15 minutes reading every day, you could gain the knowledge of many books in a year. And if you exercised for just 20 minutes a day, your strength, your health, and your confidence could be completely transformed within a year. Small steps may not seem very important at first, but over time, those small steps turn into extraordinary results. That's the true power of time. Today, many people say, I don't have enough time. But the truth is, most of the time, it's not a lack of time. It's a lack of the right priorities. We can spend hours on social media. We can watch videos for hours. We can spend hours talking about other people's lives. But setting aside just 30 minutes to become a better version of ourselves somehow feels difficult. And that's exactly where so many dreams fade away. Remember, time is your quietest business partner. If you guide it in the right direction, it will quietly make your life better every single day. But if you neglect it, it will quietly leave you behind. The greatest regret in life isn't that you tried and failed. The greatest regret is that you never started. But here's the good news. This moment is still yours. Today, right now, you can make a new decision. You can decide to stop waiting for tomorrow. Set aside a little time for yourself every day. Spend some time on your health, some time on your knowledge, and some time on your dreams. Because time is just like a seed. If you take good care of it every single day, one day it will grow into a mighty tree. But if you keep neglecting it, that seed will dry up, and along with it, your opportunities will disappear. Just imagine this. If, starting today, you invested just 1 hour every day in your personal growth, then after 1 year, you would have 365 hours invested. During that time, you could learn a new language. You could develop a valuable new skill. You could completely transform your fitness. You could start an online business, or you could create an entirely new version of yourself. That's the true power of time. You can spend money to buy many things, but by investing your time, you can transform yourself. And when a person transforms themselves, their entire world begins to change. So the next time your mind starts to wander, or you catch yourself thinking, "Not now, I'll do it later," ask yourself just one question. Am I using my most valuable asset, my time, wisely at this very moment? Because in the end, one truth always remains. Time is your greatest asset. If you waste it, you'll lose more than you realize. But if you invest it in the right places, you can build the life you've always dreamed of. So starting today, starting right now, stop simply spending your time. Instead, start investing your time in your future. Chapter 3. Improve your mind every single day. Take a moment to think about your mind. You already have the most powerful system in the world. A system that can dream, learn new things, solve difficult problems, and completely change the direction of your life. But the question is, are you really using it? Or have you spent years running on the same old version? Your mind is a lot like a computer. The difference is, a computer has limited memory. But the potential of the human mind is almost limitless. The more new knowledge you feed it, the more you challenge it, and the more opportunities you give it to learn, the stronger it becomes. But if you neglect it, little by little, it will become trapped by old ways of thinking, old fears, and old excuses. Then the very mind that could have moved you forward will be the one holding you back. Just think about it. If your phone suddenly became very slow, your apps kept freezing, and the entire system was stuck on an outdated version, what would you do? Of course, you'd update it right away. You'd clear out the storage, you'd install the latest features, because you know that no device performs at its best without regular updates. But surprisingly, we don't do the same thing with our own minds. Year after year, we keep living with the same old way of thinking. The same fears, the same doubts, the same limiting beliefs, and the same excuses. Yet we still hope that one day our lives will magically change. But the truth is, if your thinking doesn't change, your life won't change either. Because every meaningful change begins with a change in your mindset. Many people go to the gym to strengthen their bodies. They spend hours working out. But when it comes to strengthening their minds, they do almost nothing. And when life places a difficult challenge in front of you, it's not the strength of your muscles that matters. It's the strength of your mind. Because before you can conquer the world, you have to conquer your own mind. There was a man. He had spent years working at a job that brought him no happiness at all. Every morning, he woke up with a heavy heart, went to work, did his job, came back home, and the next day, the same routine began again. Deep inside, a voice kept telling him, "You can do so much more than this." But another voice always held him back. "No, you're not good enough. You can't do this. Don't take the risk." Little by little, he started believing those words. And that became his biggest problem. Because what was holding him back wasn't his situation. It was his own way of thinking. He had never filled his mind with new knowledge. He had never learned how people transform their lives. He had never understood how self-confidence is built. He had never realized how small habits can shape a person's future. Now imagine this. What if that same man had spent just 15 minutes every day working on his personal growth, reading a good book, listening to an inspiring podcast, or learning from the stories of successful people? Would his way of thinking still be the same? Probably not. His life might look completely different today. That's the power of knowledge. One new idea, one new lesson, or one new perspective can sometimes change your entire life. That's why your mind needs fresh fuel every single day. And that fuel is called knowledge. When you read, you're not just reading words. You're exposing yourself to new ideas. You begin to see new possibilities. You learn to understand the world in a different way. And little by little, your perspective begins to change. But knowledge alone isn't enough. What's even more important is self-awareness. In other words, learning to understand what you're thinking and why you're thinking it. Because until you recognize your own thoughts, you can't change them. When your self-awareness grows, you stop comparing yourself to other people. You can stay away from jealousy. You can overcome self-doubt. And most importantly, you take control of your own thoughts. Today, many people say, "I don't like reading. I don't have the time." Yet those same people can spend hours scrolling through social media. They can watch short videos for hours. They can fill their minds with things that do nothing to help them grow. The real problem isn't time. The problem is setting the right priorities. The question isn't whether you have time or not. The question is, what are you filling your mind with? Because that's what your future will be built on. If you fill your mind every day with negative news, fear, and unnecessary distractions, your thinking will eventually reflect those things. But if you fill it with new ideas, new knowledge, and thoughts of growth, your future will be shaped the same way. One of the simplest ways to improve your mind is to ask yourself questions. Ask yourself, who am I? Who do I want to become? What is my biggest weakness? How can I become just a little better today than I was yesterday? These questions wake up your mind. They pull you out of autopilot. They force you to think in a new way. And when a person truly starts thinking, that's when they begin to change. Remember, your thoughts shape your decisions, and your decisions shape your future. So set aside some time every day to expand your mind. Read a good book. Listen to an audiobook. Watch an inspiring video. Learn the story of someone who overcame countless obstacles to achieve success. Because when you see the stories of other people's growth, your mind begins to believe in greater possibilities. Little by little, you'll start noticing new opportunities. Your thoughts shape your decisions, and your decisions shape your future. So set aside some time every day to expand your mind. Read a good book. Listen to an audiobook. Watch an inspiring video. Learn the story of someone who overcame countless obstacles to achieve success. Because when you see the stories of other people's growth, your mind begins to believe in greater possibilities. Little by little, you'll start noticing new opportunities. You'll begin to see new possibilities, and most importantly, you'll learn to believe in yourself. And when a person truly believes in themselves, nothing seems impossible anymore. So make a promise to yourself today. Never let your mind go without knowledge. Feed it something new every day. Teach it something valuable. Give it something that makes it stronger. Because every new idea, every new lesson, and every new insight brings you one step closer to becoming the person you want to be. And finally, remember this. A strong mind builds a strong life. The more your mind grows, the bigger your world becomes. When your thinking changes, your life changes too. So starting today, starting right now, begin improving your mind every single day. Because your future doesn't depend on how much you know today. It depends on what new things you continue to learn every day. Chapter 4. Take care of your health and keep improving it. Just think about it. What if you achieved every kind of success in the world and earned a great deal of money? What if every one of your dreams came true, but your body could no longer keep up with you? Would you truly be able to enjoy that success? Probably not. Because one of the greatest truths in life is this: without good health, everything else is incomplete. And yet, isn't it strange? We all know this, but it's the very thing we neglect the most. We chase our goals. We chase money. We chase respect and recognition. But in the process, we weaken the very foundation that our entire life is built upon. And that foundation is our health. Many people believe that success depends only on talent. But the truth is, talent only reaches its full potential when your body and mind support it. You've probably met people who are incredibly talented. They have amazing ideas. They have valuable skills. And yet, they never reach their full potential. Why? Because they don't have enough energy. Their minds are constantly exhausted. Their bodies become weak. And little by little, their confidence starts to fade. Eventually, they begin to think, maybe luck just isn't on my side. But many times, the problem isn't luck. The problem is that we stop taking care of our bodies and our minds. Remember, good health is not a luxury. It's the foundation of your life. If you want to build a tall and sturdy building, you first have to build a strong foundation. And the foundation of your life is your body, your mental well-being, and your daily energy. Now imagine this. If you woke up every morning feeling exhausted, felt sluggish all day, and even the smallest task seemed difficult, would you be able to chase your dreams? Would you be able to make big decisions? Would you be able to face life's challenges? No, you wouldn't. Because when your body becomes exhausted, your mind gradually becomes weaker too. And when your mind grows weak, your inner strength and motivation slowly begin to fade away. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man. He had big dreams. He wanted to be successful. He worked a full-time job during the day. In the evenings, he did freelance work. And on weekends, he stayed busy working on his own side projects. At first, he felt like he was being incredibly productive. But little by little, his body could no longer keep up. His sleep gradually became shorter. He couldn't even eat properly anymore. He started getting angry over the smallest things. His focus began to fade, and the quality of his work wasn't the same anymore. But he ignored all of those warning signs. He believed that working hard meant pushing yourself beyond your limits all the time. But one day, his body finally gave out. He had to be admitted to the hospital. The doctor said just one thing: "You've pushed your body so hard that now it's asking for rest and a chance to recover." Those words weren't just meant for that young man. They were a warning for all of us. Because our bodies are always sending us signals. But most of the time, we don't pay attention until the problem becomes much bigger. Now the question is maintaining good health really that difficult? Do you have to spend hours in the gym every day? Do you have to buy expensive supplements? No. The truth is, good health begins with small daily habits. Taking a short walk every morning, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, eating simple, nutritious, home-cooked meals, and setting aside a little time each day just for yourself. These small habits create life-changing results over time. But health isn't just about your body. Your mental health is just as important. Today, many people look happy on the outside, but deep inside, they're falling apart. Stress, anxiety, fear, and constant overthinking slowly drain all of their energy. And the most frightening part is, mental struggles often affect the body as well. Many illnesses aren't caused by physical problems alone. They can also develop from years of accumulated emotional stress. So taking care of yourself isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Taking care of yourself doesn't just mean skincare or going to a spa. It means listening to your own mind, understanding your emotions, accepting your pain instead of burying it, and treating yourself with kindness. Sometimes, just 5 minutes of silence can completely change the course of your day. Stretching when you wake up, taking a few deep breaths, spending a few minutes meditating, or simply sitting quietly and observing your thoughts. These small actions may seem very ordinary, but their impact is extraordinary. We often think that we'll focus on our health once life settles down, but the truth is exactly the opposite. The moment you begin taking care of your health, your life also begins to improve little by little. Because when your body is strong, when your mind is clear, and your emotions are steady, you make better decisions. You can stay more focused, feel more confident, and remain more consistent in achieving your goals. Remember, motivation alone is not enough to achieve your dreams. You also need endurance. You need strength and energy. You need long-term good health. Shortcuts may help you move ahead for a little while. But if you want lasting success, strong health is what matters most. So make a promise to yourself today. Give your body the same level of importance that you give your dreams. Give your mind the same amount of time that you give your career. And value your mental well-being just as much as you value your success. Because if your body stops supporting you, your journey to the finish line will remain incomplete. Now is the time to stop seeing health as something that's only about appearance and start treating it as one of the highest priorities in your life. So you can not only live a longer life, but also live with full energy, clear thinking, and complete awareness. Because in the end, one truth always remains. A healthy person is the strongest version of themselves, and when your body, your mind, and your spirit are all strong together, no goal in this world is beyond your reach. Chapter 5. Your network is your true wealth. Just think about it. Why do some people move ahead so quickly in life? How do they seem to find the right opportunities? How do the right people enter their lives? And why is it that sometimes people with less talent become more successful? Is it simply because of luck? Probably not. The answer lies in one powerful word: network. Because your success in life doesn't depend only on what you know. Very often it also depends on who you're connected to. The truth is, the people around you quietly shape your thoughts, your habits, and your future. A good friend, a wise mentor, a positive co-worker, or an inspiring community. Together they can awaken possibilities within you that you may never have realized were there. But on the other hand, if you're constantly surrounded by people who do nothing but complain, who always focus on the negative side of everything, or who are jealous of other people's success, then little by little, their mindset will begin to influence yours. And the most dangerous part is, you may not even realize it's happening. Remember, we usually become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. If you spend every day around people who dream big, learn new skills, and work on their health and mindset, then little by little you'll begin to become more like them, because people don't learn only by listening, they also learn from their environment. There was once a young man who believed he didn't need anyone's help. He thought he could work hard on his own, learn on his own, and succeed on his own. He read books, took different courses, and worked hard every single day. Even so, his progress was very slow. One day, he met someone who told him just one thing. "You're a hard worker, but you're walking this path alone, and people who walk alone often have a much longer journey." Those words stayed with him. He realized that hard work alone isn't enough. Surrounding yourself with the right people is just as important, because sometimes one piece of good advice can save you from making the same mistakes for years. A true friend can keep you from giving up, and a great mentor can help you reach success much faster. That's the real power of a strong network. A network isn't just about knowing a lot of people. It's not just about collecting business cards or having more followers on social media. A real network is made up of people who genuinely want to see you grow, people who give you honest feedback, people who are sincerely happy for your success, and when you fall, they're ready to help you get back up. Remember one powerful rule. If you're the smartest person in the room, then it may be time to find a new room. Because growth always happens when you're surrounded by people who are better than you in some way. People who inspire you, challenge you, and help you break through your limitations, so you can become even better. At first, it may feel a little uncomfortable. But remember, your comfort zone is never where growth happens. When you spend time with people who dream big, your own dreams begin to grow as well. When you spend time talking with people who focus on finding solutions instead of dwelling on problems, your mind also begins to see possibilities instead of obstacles. And that shift can change the direction of your life. Today, building a strong network is easier than ever before. Social media, online communities, webinars, and different events. Everywhere you look, there are opportunities to connect with new people. But this is exactly where many people make a big mistake. They only scroll, they only watch, but they never build genuine relationships. Remember, simply watching doesn't create a relationship. Real relationships are built through meaningful conversations. You have to talk to people, you have to listen to their stories, you have to help them, and most importantly, you have to create value for them without expecting anything in return. Because the strongest relationships are built on trust and respect. Many times, the biggest opportunity in your life doesn't come from a major meeting. Instead, it's hidden inside a simple conversation. Your next opportunity might come from a WhatsApp group. Your next source of inspiration might come from an ordinary introduction. The door to your next big success might be opened by someone you never expected. So learn to create value for others. Learn to truly listen. And learn to build genuine relationships. But at the same time, ask yourself one question. Am I a valuable person to the people in my network? Can people learn something by being connected with me? Am I genuinely contributing to someone else's growth? Because networking isn't just about receiving. It's also about giving. And when you help others, the world has a way of giving that help back to you. So make a decision today. Don't isolate yourself. Build a circle around you that inspires you to become a better person. Surround yourself with people who will celebrate your success and during your failures, stand beside you and support you. Because in the end, success isn't just about reaching your destination. Success is about walking the journey with people who make you stronger along the way. And remember, your true wealth is often measured not by your bank account, but by your network. Because the right people can open doors in your life that you might never have reached on your own. Chapter 6. Discipline is more important than motivation. Just think about it. Just think about it. How many times have you watched a motivational video and decided, this is it, I'm going to change my life? How many times have you woken up in the morning thinking, everything changes starting today? Today, I start exercising. Today, I start studying. Today, I start working harder than ever. And for a few hours, you truly felt like you could conquer the world. But just 2 days later, that excitement slowly began to fade. A week later, your old habits returned. And before long, everything was back to the way it was. Why does that happen? Because most people rely on motivation. But real success is built on discipline. Motivation is like a spark. It gives you the energy to get started. It gives you the courage to take the first step. But that spark doesn't last forever. After a while, it burns out. And when it does, only one thing stays with you. That is discipline. Discipline is the fuel that keeps the fire burning. Even when you don't feel like it. Even when you're tired. Even when you can't see the results yet. And that's why the most successful people in the world aren't just motivated, they're disciplined. Think about a writer. If they only wrote when they felt inspired, would they ever finish their book? Probably not. Think about an athlete. If they only trained when they felt full of energy, would they ever become a champion? Of course not, because success isn't built in one big moment. Success is built through the small actions that are repeated over and over again. The actions that often feel boring, the actions that no one applauds, the actions that most people never even notice. But over time, those very actions become your identity. There was a young man. At the beginning of the new year, he decided to completely transform his fitness. He signed up for a gym membership. He bought a new pair of workout shoes. He watched countless motivational videos. And on the very first day, he went to the gym filled with excitement. He was incredibly motivated. He truly believed his life was about to change. He went back on the second day too, but his body was extremely sore. On the third day, he started feeling tired. On the fourth day, he said, "I'll take a day off today." On the fifth day, he found another excuse. And within just a few days, he had slipped right back into his old routine. The problem wasn't the gym. The problem wasn't his willpower either. The real problem was that he relied on motivation instead of discipline. Motivation helped him get started. But his lack of discipline is what caused him to quit halfway through. Remember, discipline isn't always exciting. It's not as entertaining as an Instagram reel, and it doesn't give you instant satisfaction. But discipline takes you to places that motivation alone never can, because discipline slowly transforms who you are. When you consistently do the right things every day, you begin to see yourself differently. You start seeing yourself as someone who can be trusted, someone who keeps their promises, someone who doesn't run away when life gets difficult, someone who doesn't quit. And that's the greatest transformation of all. Because real change doesn't begin on the outside, it begins within. Just think about it. Your alarm goes off in the morning. Your mind says, just 5 more minutes. But you get out of bed anyway. It may seem like a small decision, but that small decision
makes your character stronger. Distractions come your way, but you stay focused on your work. That's another small decision, and that decision lays the foundation for your future success. You choose healthy food. You finish your work on time. You keep showing up and working towards your goals. These may seem like small things, but every great achievement is built on these small daily actions. Motivation is a lot like the weather. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's gone.
But discipline is like a soldier. It stands firm through every season, whether it's raining or the sun is shining, whether you're winning or losing, whether you're full of energy or completely exhausted. It keeps doing the work, and in the end, it is discipline that wins. So make a promise to yourself today. Don't work only when you feel like it. Keep working even when you don't feel like it at all. Because real growth happens on the days when you could have given up, but instead, you chose to keep moving forward. Remember, consistency is what creates extraordinary change. And another name for consistency is discipline. If you improve yourself by just 1% every day, then 1 year from now, you'll be in a place you probably can't even imagine today. So you don't need a massive plan. Just choose one small positive habit and stick with it every single day. No excuses, no breaks. Don't let your actions depend on whether you feel motivated today. Because a disciplined person keeps moving forward, one small step at a time. And over time, those small steps forward grow into an extraordinary life. So the next time your motivation starts to fade, when you feel like you have no energy left, when you find yourself thinking, "I should just give up," ask yourself just one question. Am I acting like the person I want to become? If the answer is yes, keep moving forward. And if the answer is no, don't wait for motivation to come back. Make discipline your greatest companion. Because in the end, one truth always remains. When motivation falls asleep, discipline keeps moving you forward. And it's that discipline that leads you to your destination. Chapter 7. Learn, apply, and repeat. Just think about it. How many books have you read so far? How many motivational videos have you watched? How many podcasts have you listened to? How many courses have you bought? Now ask yourself one honest question. Out of all of them, how many have truly changed your life? That question may feel a little uncomfortable, but it's the very question that reveals the difference between simply learning and creating real change. Because the reality is, many people in this world never stop learning, but very few people actually change themselves. They read books, they take notes, they save inspiring quotes, they watch videos, they attend seminars, but after a few days, they go right back to the life they had before. The same old habits, the same old excuses, the same old fears, and the same old results. Why does that happen? Because they learned the information, but they never put it into practice. Remember, knowledge alone isn't power. Applied knowledge is real power. The true value of an idea isn't found in whether you understand it. Its real value lies in whether you've applied it to your own life. You can read the best books in the world. You can listen to the most successful people in the world. But if your life never reflects those lessons through action, then that knowledge will remain nothing more than entertainment. It will never become a force for transformation. Let me tell you a short story. There was a man who was deeply interested in fitness. Every day he watched workout videos on YouTube. He knew the name of every exercise. He knew which exercise targeted which muscle. He knew which diet plans were the most effective. He knew who the best trainers were. When it came to fitness theory, he had become almost an expert. But there was one big problem. Not once in his life had he actually stepped inside a gym. He just stood on the outside, learning, understanding, and watching. But he never actually took action. Now think about it. Did his body change at all? Did his fitness improve? Did his life truly change? No, because he collected knowledge, but he never turned it into action. And that's one of the biggest mistakes many of us make. We keep collecting information and knowledge. We believe the more we learn, the more prepared we'll become. But most of the time, that's just an illusion. Because many times, we hide behind learning. We tell ourselves, I'll learn just a little more. I still don't fully understand it. It's not the right time yet. I'll prepare a little more, then I'll get started. But that later never comes for most people, and life doesn't wait for anyone. Remember, the real formula for self-improvement is very simple. Learn, apply, repeat. Learn, then put it into practice, and keep doing it over and over again. That process is what transforms an ordinary person into an extraordinary one. If you've read a book about time management, then starting the very next day, make an effort to organize your schedule more effectively. If you've learned something about communication skills, then that same day, start a confident conversation with someone new. If you've learned a new business idea, then create a simple plan around it. If you've been reading about discipline, then that same day, start one small positive habit, because learning only becomes valuable when it's put into action. Many people think, I'll wait until everything is completely clear, and then I'll begin. But the truth is exactly the opposite. Clarity comes from taking action, not before you begin. When you start walking, the path begins to reveal itself. When you get started, you gain experience. When you take action, you learn something new. And when you keep applying what you've learned, that's when real skill is developed. In the beginning, you'll make mistakes. That's completely normal. People may judge you. Your first attempt may fail. The results may not match your expectations. But that's simply part of the journey of becoming a better version of yourself. No one becomes an expert on their very first attempt. Every successful person was once a beginner. Every skilled person was once a student. And every great success began with small, imperfect, and often uncomfortable first steps. When you learn something new and immediately put it into practice, your confidence begins to grow as well. Because then, you don't just have information, you also have real experience. And experience is always far more powerful than information alone. Every time you put something you've learned into practice, your way of thinking becomes more mature, Your understanding grows deeper, and little by little, your identity begins to change. Eventually, you become one of those people who don't just talk, but actually produce results. That's the biggest difference between someone who only learns and someone who succeeds. People who only learn know things, but people who succeed take action. And the ones who both learn and take action are the ones who truly move forward in life. So the next time you read a new book, watch an inspiring video, or learn a new idea, make a promise to yourself. Don't stop at just listening. Put it into practice. That very day, at that very moment, take at least one small step, no matter how small that step may be. Because great achievements always begin with small steps. And remember, your actions won't always be perfect. But taking action will always move you forward. On the other hand, just thinking about it will often keep you stuck right where you are. So starting today, create a new rule. With every lesson you learn, take one real action. With every new idea, try one small experiment. With every piece of knowledge, add one practical application. Because the real secret to changing your life isn't just learning. It's taking what you've learned and making it part of your life. And in the end, this is the most powerful formula for success. Learn, apply, repeat. Then learn again, apply it again, and repeat once more. One day, those small, consistent steps will turn you into the person you can only imagine being today. My friends, as we reach the end of this journey, one important question stands before us once again. Are we truly investing in the most valuable thing in our lives? And that most valuable thing is ourselves. We spend most of our lives chasing ways to improve the things around us, to earn more money, to build a better home, to buy new things, to impress other people. But in that race, we forget about the one person who's trying to achieve all of those things. And that person is ourselves. Remember, if your mind is strong, no difficult situation will be able to break you. If your body is healthy, you'll be able to keep chasing your dreams for the long run. If your mind is calm and focused, you'll be able to make better decisions. And if your confidence is strong, no challenge in the world will be able to stop you. This book has taught us a powerful lesson. Our greatest asset is not our bank balance, not property, not a degree. Our greatest asset is ourselves. We've learned that time is our most valuable resource. We've discovered how important it is to strengthen our minds every single day. We've realized that success is never complete without good health. We've seen that surrounding yourself with the right people can multiply your growth. And we've also learned that discipline is far more powerful than motivation. But perhaps the greatest lesson of all is that real change always begins from within. When we start making ourselves a priority, when every day we work to become just a little better, when we choose action instead of excuses, that's when our lives begin to change little by little, one step at a time, one change at a time. Today, you have an opportunity to make a decision. Will you keep waiting for tomorrow, or will you start investing in yourself today? Will you choose to improve your mindset, your health, your skills, and your habits every single day? Because the truth is very simple. The day you learn to recognize your own value is the day the world will begin to recognize it too. So if the lessons from this book have touched your heart, if you feel that it's time to build the best version of yourself, then today, make a promise to yourself. Every day, do something for yourself. Something that moves you forward. Something that makes you stronger. Something that brings you closer to becoming the person you want to be. And remember, small improvements are what lead to great success. Our goal isn't just to summarize books. It's to bring life-changing ideas into your everyday life, so they can help you become a better person. We'll see you again with a new book, a new lesson, and a new journey. Until then, always remember this. You are the greatest investment of your life. And in this world, there is no asset more valuable than you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. I've decided to invest in becoming the best version of myself, because every great transformation begins with one small decision.